everyone, it's Shari Carroll for SimonsSaysStamp.com, and I have a video where I've put together some ideas on how to use your washi tape. So this would be 10 ways to use it. I have a lot of washi tape, and what I've done is I've put a bunch of strips on a piece of cardstock, and this was just some leftover cardstock, and I've put it across, and then I've trimmed off the sides. So a lot of the washi tapes that I have are a lot of grays and kind of earth tone colors, blacks, and some teals. I seem to hoard it, or at least I think I hoard it. Maybe it lasts really long. So I've cut that panel of cardstock into some strips, and I've kind of varied the width of these so that I'll have some skinny ones and some fatter ones. And right now I'm just going to go ahead and cut up some pieces, and this will be to make some bunting. And what I mean by bunting is I'm just making little flag banners, but since this has a really nice thickness to it, it's more like bunting. So once I have my little pieces cut up, then I can go ahead and start cutting in my flag banners or my fishtails and other shapes for my bunting. One of the ways I'd like to cut this is I'll go up the center just a little bit, and then I'll go from corner into the center, and then I'll flip that around and go from the other corner into the center, and that gives me a really nice banner edge or fishtail. So once I had a few of those flags cut up, I put them onto a panel of fog cardstock, and that's the Simon Says Stamp fog cardstock. I did punch some holes in the center, and I ran some black thread through, and I used some foam tape to mount that. The next thing I'll be doing is I'm going to stamp my message here, and I'm using the thank you. I've already put that on my block, and I'll be stamping that with slate ink, and that'll show up really nicely for my card. The next thing I want to show you is a really quick envelope for my finished card, and regular cards measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what I've done is I've cut a piece of cardstock 6 inches by 11, and then I've scored at 4 1/2 inches and then scored the fold at the top. The cardstock or paper that I'm using is 60-pound weight that I got at the office supply, and so it's a little bit lighter than regular cardstock. So this is super easy. So what I'm going to do is tear a piece of washi tape, and I'll just be sealing up the sides for my envelope. So you'll lay that down where about half of it's hanging over. I'm going to make sure that that doesn't overlap too much onto those sides. Then I'll flip that over and go ahead and seal up that side. And now this is starting to form a pocket. So I'll go ahead and do another color of washi tape, and then I'll add a few more colors onto the front. So once I have my sides sealed up, I thought it'd be kind of fun just to add a little bit more decoration to the front of this. I'll just go ahead and fold these over. If you wanted to, you could use some multi-medium or a gel medium to kind of seal it just by going ahead and brushing that on really lightly, and then this should be able to go through the mail. So now I have an opening at the top. I can go ahead and slide my card in, and to seal this I can either use my tape runner and a little more washi. Another idea I had is to add some bunting under the glass of a frame. So here I have my bunting just like I did on the card, and I have a black frame, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. And the frame that I happen to have picked out has almost a little shadow box to it, and I didn't know it when I bought it, but it works out really well. So I know that's going to drop down once I set that down. To coordinate with this, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and put some washi tape on the outside of the frame. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this up, and then I want to make sure that I kind of push that into the crease, and then I can press that right onto the glass. I don't think I'm going to seal this with any multimedia. I can go ahead and change this out as I choose, but for now this really suits me. So I'm going to do a couple more strips, and I will have my finished frame. I would like to either use this for a picture or actually for a dry erase board for my office. I have a little notebook that I've covered with some white paper just to kind of cover up the cover that was already there. I'm going to go ahead and trim this out with my scissors, and then I'm going to add some washi tape to the top. To glue this paper down, I did use a glue stick because it has less water, and so I get less warping. Okay, so now I'm using my washi tape, and I'm going from the open end to the spine, and when I get to the spine, I have my multi-medium here, and I'm sorry I'm off camera, and I think it's because I wear my bifocals, and for me to see it, I have to have it closer to me. But what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of my gel medium or a multi-medium to that spine area where the book is going to be flipped open and closed more, so any kind of movable piece you might want to put a little extra glue. So once I have that done, I can go ahead and smooth everything out. And when I get to the end, hopefully I will pull this up so you can see it. And then I can just fold that over into the inside. Once you get your first couple pieces going, it's really easy to continue on with this. And again, I'm using my multi-medium at that spine area, and I'll just be adding additional strips until I have the entire thing filled in. Now you can see it, I'm on camera, yay. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull that around, line that up on the back, press that down, and I'll tear that off, and then I can just flip that page open and just press that down on the inside. And so here I can go ahead and press the front cover. And when you're done, you can put a piece of cardstock on the inside to cover the edges. Another idea I had is to highlight your pages, and I think you could also do this with a reading book instead of dog-earing pages. So I have a piece of washi here, and I'm going to go ahead and lay this down till I get about halfway up to that page, and I'll go ahead and I kind of got crooked. I want to make sure that I'm straight. Once I'm straight, I can go ahead and press that down, and then I'll fold that over the page. And this gives me a nice little durable edge to my page, and it also makes it really nice and decorative. Another idea for your washi tape is to cover some clothespins, and I live in the country and I do actually have a clothesline out back, so I have extra clothespins. If you wanted, you could also do some of your office clips to make a coordinating set. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to use my gel medium or matte medium. I could have painted these first, either black or white or something that would really coordinate. Had I thought about it before, I would have done it before, but I'm going to add some gel medium to the top. I want my washi tape to really stick to these clothespins. Like I said before, if you have anything that's movable or anything that you're going to handle, you want to have a little bit extra glue to glue that down. So right now I'm just going to tear off little pieces of washi. It's kind of slippery because that glue is slippery, but I'll be pressing these down and I'll start building up my layers of washi tape. This is how my clip looks with all my tape hanging off the sides, and what I want to do now is to do one final layer over the top with my medium here, and this will help protect all those edges. And once I'm done doing this, I'll let it set and dry, and I can clip off those sides with either an X-Acto knife or use some really small scissors. I'll be using some magnets on the back of my clothespins to use on my magnetic board. So for my office clip, I've just wrapped the washi around the front side and I've let it hang on into the inside. And so I'm going to add a little bit of medium to make sure that I have all those little edges sealed, and I can just run my brush back and forth onto the inside. This will dry really nice and matte and clear, so you won't be seeing any of the extra glue. But I want to make sure I get all those little edges. Like I said, anything that's moving, you want to make sure that you have it really well sealed or glued down. So now you can see that it hasn't changed any of the function of the clip and everything's starting to coordinate. I still have extra cardstock that I've covered with that washi tape, and I'm going to be doing some die cutting with this piece, and I want to make sure that this is really well sealed because the die cutting is going to be really fine, and it's very possible that some of these layers will want to peel up. So I'm using the soft matte gel, and this is by Prima, their Art Basics line, and I'm just using my brush. I'll just be going back and forth and just doing a nice fine layer to seal this up. Once I'm done covering this, I'll let it dry really well before I run it through my die cut machine. Okay, this is the last card that I did, and I went a little crazy, so I've added some washi and then I cut out my letters. So these are Love You, and it kind of makes a nice graffiti look to it. So I've mounted my letters up onto some hearts and also on a background of washi tape. I hope I've given you some inspiration on how you can use your washi tape, and be sure to look at the link below in the description to the blog post where I have pictures of all my projects. And thanks for watching.